Good morning all of you. In the last class, we have discussed about the subsurface sources such as springs and wells. And today, we are going to discuss about the next subsurface source, that is tubules. So, in order to obtain large discharge mechanically, a pipe or a tube is drilled deep into the ground so as to obtain water is known as tubules. Next, we will discuss about the types of tubule. So, depending upon the entry of water through cavity or screen, the tubules are classified into two types. One is cavity type tubule, second one is screen type tubule. So, let us first discuss about the cavity type tubule. So, this is the image of a cavity type tubule. A cavity type tubule draws water from the bottom of the well. So, you can see here it will draw water from the bottom of the well and not from sides. This will not get water from sides, it will get water from the bottom. Therefore, the flow in a cavity well is spherical, and the working principle behind the cavity tubule is generally similar to that of a deep open well, as we have discussed before. We have discussed before about deep open well, and the working principle of this cavity well is generally same as your deep open well. But the only difference is that in case of a deep open well, it will obtain the water from the fast aquifer. In case of a deep open well, it will obtain the water from the fast aquifer, which is present just below the mortar layer. See here, in case of a deep open well, it will draw the water from the fast aquifer, which is present just below the mortar layer. But in case of a cavity type tubule, it can tap the water or draw the water from lower or still lower stratum. So, see here, this is the cavity type tubule and it is not obtaining water from the fast aquifer. So, it will obtain water, it can obtain water from the lower stratum also. So, this cavity type tubule consists of a pipe, this one is your pipe, which is bored through the soil and resting on the bottom of a strong clay layer. Okay, so this is resting on the bottom of the strong clay layer. So, this is the strong, this one is the strong aquiclude where it will rest, and a cavity is formed at the bottom. See, this is the cavity formed at the bottom and the water from the aquifer. So, below the strong aquiclude there is an aquifer. So, water from this aquifer will enter the well pipe through this cavity. In the initial stage of pumping, here what happened, the fine sand which are present in the aquifer will enter into the well. But as the time passes on, we will get clean water. Therefore, this cavity type tube well can be used only for small supplies, particularly for domestic water supplies. Okay, so this is all about the cavity type tube well. Next, we will move to screen type tube well, the next type of tube well. Screen type tube well. So, screen type tube well are most widely adopted and have been extensively constructed in our country, particularly for irrigation purposes. And this can be subdivided into two types. First one is strainer tube well, second one is slotted pipe gravel pack tube well. So, let us first discuss about the strainer tube well. So, this is the picture of a strainer tube well. So, in this type of tube well, strainer uses combination of strainer and plain pipe which are lowered into the borehole, and here what happen, in case of a cavity type tube well, the pipe is plain pipe, but in case of screen type tube well, this is a combination of strainer and plain pipe. So, here the strainer, this one is the strainer. Okay. So, the strainer will located opposite to the water bearing strata. This is the water bearing stratum. This sand and gravel, this one is the water bearing strata. Okay. So, strainer pipe is placed opposite to the water bearing strata and plain pipe is placed opposite to the non-water bearing formation. So, this clay is the non-water bearing formation. This one is the non-water bearing formation. Okay. And here what happened? The water will enter into the well through these strainers from the sides. That means water will enter through these sides. Therefore, in this case the flow is radial. But in case of cavity type tube well, as water is flowing through the bottom of the pipe, that's why that is spherical. So, here this strainer, you can see here this strainer is consist of a perforated or a slotted pipe. So, this strainer is a perforated or slotted pipe with a wire mesh wrapped round the pipe. Okay. This strainer is a slotted pipe and around this there will be a wire mesh. So, the wire mesh prevents the entry of sand particles from entering into the well. And this strainer type tube well is generally unsuitable for fine sandy strata, because in that case the size of the mesh opening, the wire mesh, as in this case there will be there is a wire mesh. So, if we will use this type of tube well in very fine sandy strata, there will be chances of entering the sand particles. So, if we will reduce the size of the wire mesh, then it will may result in choking of the strainer, and if the wire mesh will be kept bigger, the well will start discharging sand. Okay. Therefore, it is not suitable for your very fine sandy strata. So, this is about your strainer tubule. Next, we will discuss about the gravel pack slotted pipe tubule. So, next type of tubule is slotted pipe gravel pack tubule. So, in this case, it also uses, this type of tubule also uses combination of slotted pipe and plain pipe. Okay. Here also the slotted pipe are placed opposite to the water bearing stratum. Here you can see this is the aquifer, and the plain pipes are placed opposite to the non bearing stratum. Here you can see this is an aquiclude. But in this case there is no wear mesh. The slotted pipes are placed without being covered by wear mesh. Okay. So in this case, after placing the assembly of the plain and slotted pipe in the bore hole, that means first this one is the casing pipe and this one is the assembly of plain pipe and slotted pipe. So after placing the plain pipe and slotted pipe into the bore hole, gravel is poured into the holes, or gravel is filled into the holes, and it will be surrounded the well pipe for a thickness of 10 to 20 mm thick. Okay. So there is a, you can see here, there is a 10 to 20 mm thick gravel packing surrounds the well pipe. In this case also, the water will enter into through the sides and not from the bottom. So here also the flow is radial. This is all about the types of tubule, and in the next class we will discuss about the treatment of water. Thank you.